And I think we should be live. Hi everyone, hi, I'm Wombat Pets Hybrid. Welcome to Dave's super special Sunday stream. A lot of S's there, more than two, so that's always good. It's Sunday, September 27th, I think? 28th, 27th, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a lovely Sunday, and today we're gonna speak to the lovely Anna from 242 about her new game, right? Because it's the latest project that she's working on. It's KAPIA. Hi Anna, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's much pleasure. I've seen you play KAPIA and I enjoyed it so much. So it's very exciting for me to be here now.
Okay, nice. So as we spoke before, just go right in. Tell me a little bit about yourself, about the studio, what you've been doing until now, and then maybe tell us a little bit about what KAPIA is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's well, we were a very small team. We're a team of 2 people. So it's me and my husband, and we've been working on this game for 4 years. And right now we managed to produce a 90-minute demo after 4 years of development, plus a lot more. It's further, but that we're not showing.
It's like after 4 years we've been. You know how long it took for them to make Duke Nukem Forever? You're very efficient compared to those people, okay, so it's very good. Yeah. You've done very well. You've done well.
Oh, good, because we did a lot of prep work for this. Oh my goodness, we worked for 15 years collecting experience, and it was in 3D graphics, it was in engine production, and it was in making assets, and we just wanted to get to the point where we can actually make our own game. So right now we're at this very exciting place where we can show you our work.
So what else have you been working on? Any other game projects or something outside of the gaming market?
We had some gaming projects too, but it was like freelance projects, so we were not basically in a development department. Well, we were in a development department, we were behind the screens, how it goes. So it was more of an outsourced stuff, but we did do a lot of work in 3D, and it was so many different projects. I probably couldn't even list all of them. I mean, starting from architecture, ending model development.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, so how do you get from freelancing to deciding, okay, we're doing our own thing now? What happened? What was that spark?
We just felt that we were ready. We've worked so hard on this, and we were just collecting this experience. And at one point, we knew we had finances to support us for time of development, so we had to think of that, and we felt that we are ready mentally. So we just packed everything and we went on a journey, and we started in Latvia. That was our first country where we developed where we started developing KAPIA. And
you have a map?
Yeah.
You have a map of
it's the world. It's the world.
It started like the road to KAPIA. It's like started Latvia, and then it's like another country and another country and another.
Oh, that would be a great idea. Yeah. So it's not a white wall. Draw a map.
Why not? I mean, you can still make it for the live stream when you actually release. It'll be like, here's where we've been through the development of KAPIA. It's like a huge war map behind you, and it's like, yeah, you're here.
No, it was some war. I mean, it wasn't easy because we were so funded for all this time, and right now, of course, it's a big relief on one side, because we are going to this different stage of development when everything is almost finished. So we just need to kind of take everything, put everything together, and the game is done.
So up until now, right? You've been traveling and also developing. Did you find a stable base to work on this, or did you continue traveling?
No, we continued traveling, and it was quite a trip because basically on each airplane you can only take that many bags of luggage. And it's usually limited to 4 or 6. It depends on the airline. You see, I'm very experienced in this. So basically 4 suitcases were occupied with KAPIA stuff. Our computers, our just wires and things like that. So you have only a small carry-on bag for your personal belongings, and obviously you need your documents and stuff like that. So you end up with this tiny amount of space that you can pack everything into.
So I was thinking, because you said about you have experience. What's the worst airline you've been with regarding traveling and packages and what you can carry on? What? Come on, just name names. They're not gonna see this.
I'm trying to think of a good airline.
No, the worst one. Come on.
The worst.
Blue Air or Wizz Air or something. Come on, something from here, from Eastern
Wizz
Europe.
Air was pretty horrible about it.
Yeah.
And we also fly with our dog, so it's adding another carry-on.
It's like, yeah. I mean, probably that'll be the roughest thing to go with the dog too. I'm guessing that's in terms of the cost and everything. But
it's not as much about the cost as about dog. I mean, she doesn't like traveling as much. But I mean, after I believe it was her sixth time, she got used to it. But before that, it was kind of a trip. Well, we tried to calm her down, just and she was always traveling on my lap, so carry the dog.
Oh, that's. I thought they would have to put them in the hull or something.
Depends on the size of the dog, really.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you have a really compact one, good thing. The one reason why you would get a tiny dog is you can carry it on the airplane. I never thought really about that. Why do people get small dogs? I never understood that. I'm like, that's one good reason why you'd have a very small dog.
It was a good call on our side. It wasn't why we chose Jack Russell, but yeah, it was a good call.
Because they're energetic and awesome and lively, probably. And probably they burrow everywhere and they try to jump or dig under fences. I mean, why not? It's an experience.
Yes, all that. Absolutely true.
So tell me, so we can go back to the actual. I mean, it's fine. We can talk about dogs 10 hours, no problem. I mean, I'll just sit here and listen about
dogs and traveling.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, that will be actually quite interesting. I'm sure there'll be a lot of cool experiences that people like to hear. But this is about KAPIA, and one thing that I discovered is KAPIA. Does the name mean anything? Because I searched and apparently KAPIA is or KAPIA. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it in Turkish. It's a word in Turkish. Is that where you took it from?
It's actually we took this name because it means a bunch of things in different languages.
Oh.
And it's so cool. But we thought, what would better represent our international game? And you see how international it is. I mean, apart from being developed into this whole bunch of countries, it also features this international crowd under this dome of KAPIA. And it's KAPIA. That's the way I pronounce it. But because it's an international word, it has different meanings. So you can pronounce it any way you like. But my favorite translation would be Serbian, where it means it's a little bit different. It's spelled a little bit differently, but it's pronounced pretty much the same. And it's gates. And I think it's just such a great meaning for us because, I mean, with this game, we're trying to open this door into game development world. We're trying to, enter this new life for us. So I'm thinking gates. And besides, we have this domed environment and it has gates. So it's very fitting.
Yeah, very, very meaningful. That's really nice. It's hard to find a good name, right? And I'm guessing it's such a relief to find something that has so many meanings and something that's very close to you spiritually, and then something that works with the game setting too. So that's actually pretty awesome. Because I'm thinking, finding a good name could be exhausting, but yeah, that's. Oh, sorry. Just a quick thing for anyone in the chat, because I've seen quite a few people. If you have any questions, just put them there, and we're gonna check them later. So feel free to ask about Jack Russell's all the time. There's no problem. So that's another. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration for KAPIA and KAPIA's world. Like, where did you start? Any specific game, any specific setting, stories, anything like that?
We had a pretty good idea of what we want to do. And it, from the very start, was Adventure Quest. I mean, it comes from our background. We are both gamers, and we've been playing games from our very childhood, and we knew we wanted to make an Adventure Quest. What we didn't know is what kind of setting we want. And we were just trying to look for inspiration. I mean, we walked streets, and we were living in Riga back then, in Latvia, Riga. It's a beautiful city. I mean, you have to see it one day. It's just amazing. It's got this medieval walls, and we were just walking these streets, walking these medieval walls, and you know, the night just started to cover these tiny streets, and we were just thinking, you know, we're walking in this marvelous setting, and there's no one around in there, and we just immediately thought of this dome. So the night, you know how it covers the city, it became our dome. And the medieval setting, okay, you guys can see it in our KAPIA. Basically, what you see, the streets, they are streets of Riga.
Mm-hmm.
We altered them, of course. I mean, Riga doesn't have robots. I'm disclaiming that. That's not what Riga is about.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Just, you know,
not yet. Okay.
Give it 50 years. It's gonna be like exactly like robotic, you know, dogs going around, you know, the same walls from medieval times, and like, oh, it's KAPIA. That'll be funny. People who'll be like super young in 50 years, they'll be like, you know, going in Riga the first time, be like, oh, this is like KAPIA. It's like, no, it was the other way around. KAPIA took inspiration from whatever. It's fine. It'll be funny because people know KAPIA more than Riga.
I just hope I won't be blamed for this 2020 stuff going on, because we do have this infection and we do have this isolation. So if people are going to stop blaming me for that, that's going to be...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, I know they won't. I won't.
It'd be like...
You guys are awesome. I'm just kidding.
You know, it'd be fun, like the last day of the Kickstarter is going to be like everywhere on, you know, the usual suspects, you know, IGN and Kotaku and whatever, and Polygon would be like, you know, developer couple found to be COVID super spreader throughout Europe. And like, oops. But at least if it has a mention of the Kickstarter, then, you know, you can get more people to support you. So that's fine. You should, you know, you should start that rumor. This, you know what, we're gonna delete this after this, and it's gonna be like, you know, so no one remembers and it's gonna be like, you're just gonna go in and it's like, oh, I have COVID, and your husband has COVID, and then you're gonna start the rumor that you've went throughout 20 towns in Europe. Okay. I'm just saying it's good marketing. You know, even if some people would be upset,
this black marketing.
It's fine. It works. You know, it's pandemic marketing. You know, I got COVID, my husband got COVID, we're developing a game, the dog has COVID, we all survived, and we're developing a game while spreading COVID throughout Europe. That's awesome. That's gold right there.
Everyone would read it. Who actually can get COVID.
Yeah.
COVID, so.
Yeah, but
we won't be doing that.
Yeah.
We'll just stick with the intelligent infection of KAPIA. I think it's enough. Infection is enough. The funky apocalypse is going on. So
actually, because that's, you know, good segue about the infection. What's in the story, in the game story? There's an infection. What's that about? How does that manifest in the game world, and how did that affect, you know, the people in the actual game?
So basically, people in the actual game, they have to stay in isolation under those domes. First of all, there is war going on, and there was a war between the East and the West. So that started. And then you have this mysterious infection that just died. Oh, and the only people that survived were those who were sitting inside those domes. And the domes, they were built especially to protect the center of the city. So it's like a domed museum under sky. You know how sometimes just thinking in that direction, just when we were in Riga, got us thinking in that direction, how to protect the city. So it's like a domed center of the city. And obviously you don't have that many people living inside of this whole city center. So everyone who stayed inside, who was inside at that moment when the war has broken out, they survived. And apart from a couple of people who were able to, you know, run for shelter.
So sorry, go ahead.
And there are a few domes around the world that remained. So those who thought ahead and built those domes, they got, you know, this shelter. Others didn't. And they are living in this secluded environment. They have no idea what's going around. I mean, what's going on. They don't have internet. They don't have telephones. The only thing they have is this caravan that's going around those domes. And like in old times, I mean, like thinking the Silk Road, you know, this.
Just caravans
so
transporting.
Caravans,
Yeah. No. So they don't have, you know, like high power lines going or high speed internet or copper wiring, right? So what happened? So when is the game set in terms of the actual year, right? Because you do have a timeline for that.
Well, we're not really basing it upon our real world. So it is 2016 some, you know, world, not our
an alternate, right? An alternate
yes, an
version
alternate
of this
universe. So we're not really. There are some references that you may find interesting in the game, and they are reference to our world, but that's more for you know, I don't want to make things up. So I just used little Easter egg references that you may find interesting. And we have a lot of little Easter eggs that we put in our KAPIA, and it's regarding the story and regarding the content. It's all there, a lot of little details that you can play and see.
So tell me a bit about this. I guess maybe one of the things that sparked the whole, you know, current situation in KAPIA, the war between East and West. What's the politics there? How did that happen, and how did that, you know, impact specifically the people of KAPIA?
I'm gonna try to get into this without ruining this for you. Because I will share some information, because there were two sides of the conflict. There was the East and the West. There were developed countries and not so developed countries. And basically, one side, they invested their strength and power into bionics, and the other side invested into robotics. So we have this contrast from the very start. And then those guys who invested in robotics, they built a moon base with all the arsenal to finally, you know, stop this conflict between these two sides. And they put this arsenal, this war arsenal on the moon, and they got hacked or whatever happened. We won't know yet.
We have to discover.
Yes, and this arsenal just started flying at them. So that's where the bombs are coming from. And that's the part that you're gonna learn in the demo. So I don't want to go into further details on that, because that would kind of ruin the surprise.
But in the, you know, no spoilers, but in the full release, you are going to go to the moon and maybe even to Mars. And yes, there will be a Elon Musk statue on Mars. Just, you know, exclusive here, only for anyone watching this right now. In KAPIA, but you have to get the full release when it comes out next year. It's gonna have reference to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is gonna tweet about this because he's gonna see it. Obviously,
of course,
he tweets he tweets freaking memes. He's gonna tweet about this. It's fine. Okay, so
it's more important than me.
Well,
his statue
is
quite important. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more. So
no, I mean, no disclaimers. If he tweets that I'm putting a freaking statue on the moon,
I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna get a retweet from Elon Musk. Great, awesome. Why not? So in this, let's say, dangerous, you know, setting and environment, how are the people of KAPIA, you know, dealing with all this? Do they have any? Are they just, you know, trying to make a sense of what's going on? Are they involved in the politics outside of the dome, or are they just, you know, kind of like an isolated village trying to survive in this whole craziness?
They're very much isolated, but at some point they received a notification that there is a message that came to another institute, and this message of the other dome, and it's called the Institute of Science. And this message may contain the information about the war. So our main character is Stefan, and we have two main characters, it's Stefan and Rennie, and they're all both awesome, but they're completely different. So maybe you can touch on that after I finish the story. So Stefan gets this message. He goes to the Institute of Science and he doesn't find it. It's gone. There's nothing there. It's just a hollow. He finds the terminal. He inserts his ID key into the terminal, and the message comes out. And he's all right. Well, at least I got the message. So he's trying to read it, but it's encrypted. He can't do this. He's returning back to KAPIA, and he understands that he needs to hide this message because he felt that someone was watching him all the way as he was traveling. So he doesn't want to go inside because he knows that once he gets in, he can be robbed basically of this message. And that's what's happening, and that's how people are living in this world. And of course, inside the dome, they have a lot of things going on. I mean, they have sailors who are disturbing everybody. They have this robot cat who is acting quite obnoxious, and all sorts of. It's a cat and it's a robot. It's a robot cat in a robot cat suit. That's what it is.
It's double obnoxious because it's a cat and a robot. Yeah.
And it's got a suit, big arms.
And it's annoying, and it doesn't like humans apparently. But you know, for everyone who played the demo, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a character you'll want to nuke out of orbit using missiles coming from the moon. So basically, that's type of character.
And that's another contrast that we added. We want to have this cute little kitty that you see the first time. It's like, okay, kitty, it's pink, it's nice and fluffy and sweet looking, and then you start talking to him, and it's not. It's just
yeah. So you've mentioned that you have two characters in the game. You have Stefan, right, who's the grandfather, or Rennie,
exactly.
The granddaughter. Tell me a little bit about what's Stefan's position in KAPIA? Like, how do the people see him? Is he, well known? Is he revered? Is he respected by the people there? What's his position within the, I guess, hierarchy of the town that's KAPIA right now?
They're sort of a group of the underdogs. I mean, they don't really belong to any sort of coalitions that they have inside of the dome. So they're kind of separate, and they do have this headquarters, and they're kind of these group of intelligent people who are trying to figure it out. So he's, I wouldn't say he's high in standing, but he's a respected person in KAPIA because he's such a great guy. I mean, everyone knows him, everyone loves him, and he's been living there for quite a while, so everyone knows how strict in morals he is, how just, forget that he stole the range, and we will have that contrast too. And the interesting part is you're going to be finding out about Stefan's character from the granddaughter. Not directly from her, but also directly from her, because she'll be telling people how she thinks of her grandfather, but also other characters are going to speak about the grandfather. So we're going to find out about Stefan's character through, these different sources.
So what about Rennie? How did she arrive to KAPIA, and what is it spoilery? What happened to her parents, or is it something that we're gonna find out later, or can you share the ugly, probably grotesque fate of her parents?
Yeah, it was basically the bombing destroyed her life, and her parents disappeared. And all she has is her grandfather, who is taking care of her, who was a pilot in the war, who was trying to defeat the dome, but his airplane crashed right in front of the dome. So he was able to actually get out and get under the dome and save his life at that point.
So
but
you said the parents disappeared. You didn't say they died.
Yes. I said they disappeared. I said they disappeared. I did say that.
That's a key word here.
You're very good at picking out things, huh?
I mean, it's, it's speech psychology. It's fine. I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm not assuming that the parents are alive, but I like that you kind of, using this word, you're saying, oh, we don't know. Maybe they're still alive, maybe not. You're just gonna have to play the full game to see. But that would be nice if they're alive and we can find them, and who knows, maybe they have full limbs compared to Rennie. Actually, what happened to her? Like in the bombing, her hand? What happened to her hand? Because Rennie has a mechanical hand.
She does have a mechanical hand, and it will be covered in the game. And what I wanted to do, I didn't want to emphasize her handicap too much, because I wanted, people with a handicap to understand that it's okay. I mean, we don't have to, stress that. It is a big part of her life, but she's not, in the game, we're not just saying, oh, okay, so I have limitations. She doesn't have any limitations. She's cool, she's wonderful, and she doesn't have to worry about that. And she does have a mechanical hand. So yes, she does. And that did happen after the bombing. So she lost her arm in that process.
It's interesting you say that, because I was thinking that when I saw that, I was thinking that it's a gameplay mechanic. Like it's a device that you would be able to use maybe for future puzzles or something like that. Is that it, or is it just a prosthesis that doesn't matter in terms of the gameplay? I mean.
In terms of the gameplay, that's what we wanted to do. We didn't want to emphasize this part of her. That's because that's not the part that we market. We don't talk about a girl having one arm. It's just the part that she has. It's just a part of her. So we don't get into this mechanics too much.
So it doesn't have freaking lasers or anything like that can help you.
No, it doesn't. Okay. It doesn't have extra,
Okay.
Powers.
No extra strength, so you can punch people or anything like that. No.
No.
Okay. I was kind of hoping that she would be, I don't know, some sort of super hacker, or you should have super strength with that hand, and you'd use it for all sorts of puzzles in the game.
Well, Rennie is pretty cunning on her own, so you're gotta give her that. I'm sorry, I got distracted on questions, and you have so many good questions.
It's okay. I mean, if you want to pick up anything, just go ahead. If you find something that you want to pick up right now from the
I want to pick up everything. I want to pick up everything, but I mean, I guess we'll be saving them for later because they're so awesome.
However you want. I'm not. I'm not. This is not the Joe Rogan experience. I want people to interact with us, and I think that's a good thing, although it does kind of alter our interaction in that regard, because we're focused here, but then we also kind of have to look at the chat, but that's not a bad thing. I like people to come together. I mean, we're two people. If 100 more contribute to this discussion, then there's going to be even more info, more it's going to be a better experience for everyone. But we're going to leave the questions for a little bit later, so you're going to have to stay here to see everything and find out the answers for the questions. Okay, so tell me a bit about Rennie and how she's dealing with all this, right? So she lost her parents, basically, right? She lost her parents. She's with her, she's with family, with her grandfather, but her grandfather is a person that, I mean, we've seen in the demo, he goes out to do missions, so that means she's alone. How is she dealing with that? How, what's her place in KAPIA? And, how does she spend the time there? Does she have any friends? What's her life in KAPIA?
She's pretty sad because she's not really alone. She's got this Dr. Zimulus, and when you play the demo, if you remember this guy with a gigantic beard, that's Dr. Zimulus, and it's actually in Latvian, Zimulus is a pencil.
Oh.
So he's Dr. Pencil. And he's taking care of her as much as he can. He's kind of an older guy, so it's difficult for him, and there is also
he seems grumpy. He seems grumpy. He doesn't seem like the type who would be, very good with handling children. He's a little,
Exactly.
In his world.
There's also Geneva, who is helping out, and she's this nice lady with the red hair also, as you have picked up.
But
more of the darker side.
Is it dyed or not? Because my theory is that it's not her real hair color. But I don't know.
We can't ask her that. You don't ask Lady about that.
I mean, I can. No problem. Just get Geneva in here and be like, is it your real hair color, girl? I mean, you look fabulous, and I love what you've done with it, but come on. You don't get that shit. I know, because I've been a ginger too. You don't get that color naturally. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. She seems cool. It's just, in the demo at least, to me, it looked like Rennie had a lot of people around her, but she was still quite lonely in that environment. I mean, she could talk to other people, but they were mostly people who would have other bigger things on their mind, and not necessarily, they weren't necessarily equipped to take care of a young girl like that.
Exactly, and there aren't too many children in there too. So she's pretty lonely in that aspect, but she has Robbie to play around with, and Robbie is kind of this robot. It's a robot. Robbie is a robot, but he acts like a teenager, and he's kind of a different type of robot. And he's less focused on his mission as other robots would, and he's more humane than other robots of his model. So he is kind of keeping Rennie company in this world, and that's her friend. And
so, will we be able to, because you technically could manipulate Robbie, but will you be able to take full control of him in the full release, or is it just Stefan full control, Rennie full control,
right.
And that's it?
Yes, that's basically that's how the adventure is very much story driven. We are not going to go into different places with that. So basically, we are going to focus on Stefan and Rennie, and each level, as you may have noticed, they're built around these characters. So first level, you see it's a lot of dialogues and a lot of word kind of puzzles. When you have to really listen to what characters are saying in order to progress. Next level is all about mechanics. So it's less narrative, it's more about mechanics. And then we go back to Stefan, where we go back to this narrative kind of style of gameplay.
Right. Which makes sense if you think about it, because with Stefan is the grown-up, right? So he'd be the one who'd communicate more, who'd be able to understand more from the things
Exactly.
that he sees, that he's being told. Whereas Rennie, she's a little girl. What she's gonna do? Well, she's not gonna listen to very complex things about what's going on in the world or whatever. She's just going to be focused on the action. What does she have to do? Climb that tree? She's gonna go up that tree. She's gonna, I don't know, make that mouse go get that cheese. She's gonna do that, and that I like that because it makes sense with the characters. Rennie's not gonna, stay for 10 minutes and listen to an old man ramble about the politics of the dome. No, she's a girl. She's a little girl. She's going to be like, okay, what do we have to do? Where do we go? She's going to be more energetic and more focused on, physical tasks. Yeah, like
That's
that.
exactly what I like how you really understood the game and with its mechanics, because that's exactly what we were going for. We didn't want to, have this political kind of internal story told to a little girl.
Yeah.
Who probably won't be able to pick up on this conversation. So we have this story and we tell it to Stefan. Great. And then on the other side, more of an emotional side, people will open up more to Rennie. So we understand characters from their emotions, their feelings. They tell that to Rennie. So we kind of contrasting to put it all together in this big game ball. Is that a word?
Yeah, why not? You know what? If it's not a word, we're gonna make a word. That's fine. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and the biggest thing for me is that it makes sense. It makes sense with the characters and what characters you have. And yes, you're gonna get two types of information from two different perspectives, and those perspectives make sense because little girl, she gets that. Mature old man, he gets something else from the world. So I like that, and it's I really want to see something that I maybe missed a little bit, but it's not criticism. I wish I had more time with Rennie, like in the demo, like more things to do with her, more missions to do, more puzzles to do with her, because it's I want to see what crazy things she was gonna go into. Because I was seeing, like, there was this mouse in one of the sewers somewhere in the city. I was thinking,
yeah.
Rennie would do something with that. She would do something with that mouth. She would bring in someone, or the guy with the bar. She would do something to him. She would sabotage him somehow. She would sabotage the liquor. She would sabotage the elevator. She would do something. The cat, the same thing. She would make the cat go after a huge ball of yarn, something like that. So I'm really looking forward to the full release when I want to see more of Rennie's adventures, because we got quite a bit of Stefan.
And the reason you got more of Stefan than of Rennie is because it's level by level. So you couldn't put in 4 because it would have been, I don't know how long would the demo be if I would have had 4 levels, because it would bring balance.
Yeah.
But it would be really long, and the demo is 90 minutes as it is.
Yeah.
It's like a game, really. So originally we were actually going to release 3 parts of KAPIA. That was an original plan, and the part that you're looking at right now, it's the demo part. It's the first part actually of KAPIA. So we decided against that, and we didn't change the script or anything. We just compressed everything into one big game. And it was more difficult on our developers' side because, I mean, well, we did have to stay in development longer, you know. But so we decided to.
Yeah, so go ahead.
We decided to do this because we're new developers. I mean, it's our first game, and we really want you to see that we can do this. So we wanted to go with big demo. We wanted to show you all the graphics. We wanted to show you all the mechanics. So, you know, just to gain the trust, because I mean, it's difficult right now because I understand a lot of people don't finish and they just drop things. And I mean, I can't just ask people to say, okay, I'm different.
Give me money.
Trust me. Yeah, give me money. Right. So we wanted to give you proof, and I hope you will find the proof in this product that we issue.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because it's very to what you're saying. At the same time, there's certain projects where there's so little there, and it's not like people come with experience. It's not like big names come with certain projects, and it's like certain game projects hit that specific nail, and they get so much money for showing very little. Whereas I think that's the best approach. To have, you know, a significant amount of gameplay, showcase, and like, okay, we've done this. This is true. We've done this. Play it. If you enjoy it, you know that, you know, we're gonna build on this and make the full game. So I think it's a really good first step to earn the trust of people. And, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like a first date. I don't know. It's like we can work here.
Like it's like a first date, and our supporters. They are absolutely amazing. I mean, the first day was absolutely emotional for me, and I didn't expect people. I didn't know that people like our game this much, and it was absolutely marvelous. So you guys, if you hear me, you were absolutely amazing. I mean, I just went teary-eyed, and it was a mess, but then I picked up and I continued. And it was a good mess. It was a good emotional mess.
So since we're on the topic of the demo, what was the general response? So also in terms of not only from the people, right, that played it, but also maybe from the media, you know, like did people pick up on the demo? You know, did people seek you out? Did you get like a big boost because of it? Because I'm thinking that it's going to be something that gets a lot of attention because there's something that you can play. You can experience, and then you can have an opinion about it, like it or not, but you can have an opinion. Whereas, you know, other projects don't show anything except maybe some sketches, maybe some images, but you have a very significant, you know, chunk of gameplay and, you know, visuals and story. So it's not like it's a very small thing. You get a lot in this demo, more than you would probably expect from something like an adventure game, right? Because adventure game is very story focused, and, you know, you get very, you know, even in demos you get small pockets, you know, to not ruin anything. And you're not ruining anything in this demo, but it's still a big demo, like probably one of the biggest that I've seen so far. So what was the response to it?
What can I say? People who played it, they are generally liking it, and I haven't heard like a bad comment till now. I mean, I haven't had people say, "Oh, this is crap." No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't had anything like that at all as a response. I mean, generally people like it, and I just wish that we could, you know, have more coverage, because I mean, the problem is it's just the two of us, and of course we don't have a marketer available. So basically, it's just me and my husband trying to spread the word, and of course people like you who help us. And that's what I mean. We're doing good. We're doing good. I mean, we could have probably done better, but we're doing really good right now. And it is our first project, so it is my first crowdfunding campaign. So probably, if it wasn't, maybe it would have given. I could have given it more boost. But right now we are in a very, very good spot. So don't get me wrong, and I'm very satisfied as how it is going, and things are looking good. And I'm just hoping right now for stretch goals. So the more stretch goals we can cover, of course, the better it will be.
Can you tease anything, like in terms of what the stretch goals would have? Because
localization, guys, localization. That's the big part of the game. I mean, we have this international crowd. We need localization. We need languages. That's the main part. And the sooner we get there, the better it will be. I want to release on as many as I can, of course.
Right. And but by default, right? Even the base game, it's still going to be fully voiced, right? In English.
Yes.
That's the plan.
The plan is yes. So the base covers complete voiceovers, and we did cover the cost of the voiceovers for the whole demo, and we do need some help with the continuation of this process. And we have amazing voice actors. We're so lucky because we did have to budget, and we just found these talented people who were willing to work with us on our budget, and so we could provide this. And you could probably notice how really good quality of their voiceovers.
And it changes. It's night and day. Like it's fine if you can, you know, have a really good dialogue and text and everything, but hearing, you know, people who are talented, voice, all of that, you know, doing, you know, various accents, and it just changes the game completely. And I really like that, especially with adventure games. If you can have an adventure game and be voiced, try to go for that, because it's really a higher tier of an experience for the player. So I really like that. Always
exactly.
have voiceovers. If you can, go for voiceovers.
Exactly, because the other part is that voiceovers are a huge part of the whole development. What we do, if you notice how much animation we have in the game, it's because we actually use voiceovers, and we make animations specifically for the dialogues. So each dialogue is absolutely unique on its animation. So people react, you know, with their body language to the voiceover. So that's a huge part for the game. We can't miss that. So that's an absolute must. So that's because of this, it's a part of the base for the development.
And speaking of animation, something that I mentioned when I played the demo too, the camera panning going from third person, let's say, or isometric, something like that, to first person is something that I really enjoyed, and I really like it, and it makes the game more personal. And it's I mean, there's some things to be tweaked in terms of the smoothness, but that's fine. It's just, you know, it's not a big thing. But what was the thought process behind that? Because you don't have to have something like that. You put it in and it works really well. I think it puts you in the game even more. It makes you identify with the characters even more. Actually, probably more than 90% of the adventure games out there, like since the 90s to now. It's so much more, you know, intimate to see through the character's eyes. So what was the idea of that? Like, how did you get, like, because that's a lot of work, right? Having to make, you know, a scene where this is first person. This is totally different than, you know, when you have the isometric camera. So, you know, how did you get to that?
I have to give complete credit to my husband in this. That's something he wanted to do from the very start. And it does put more pressure on him in the first place because he's the animator for the game, and all the first-person animations that you see, they are done by hands, like hand animated.
Yeah.
Hands that were hand animated. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's Technically,
we do have a motion capture that we're using, and we're using it for the dialogues. That's how we could produce such an amount of animation, so we could actually record each dialogue separately, and so we do have that. But the first person animation is all done by hand. It's manual work. It's a lot of work, but my husband wanted to do this. And the reason behind it was exactly what you mentioned. We did want this personal connection. We wanted people to see through their eyes, take this inventory, and the whole inventory, every object is animated. So we did want that in our game from the very start. And I'm glad it worked. I think it worked very well. I also like it.
Yeah, it brings a different perspective, and one that you don't see it in most games. That's one thing. Like in adventure games, you don't see that. Period. It just doesn't happen, and it's nothing bad. I mean, it's just the reality of the games that you have. You take 100 adventure games, you don't have something like this in them in 99% or 100 actually. But
another thing.
No, sorry. It just works. I really like it. It's hard to maybe express it. I mean, it does make you more connected to the character. It's just also something that's new to the genre, and it hits the nail. It's like, oh, that's great. How did anyone think of that? Like, yes, put that in the game because it looks really cool, and it's something that adds to the experience so much more.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. It's something that we really want to do, and it was a big part of the development that prolonged it. But I also think it worked. I'm glad we did it. Because it's completely different, and the whole game is, how should I say it? It's based on classical style gameplay, but we also wanted to make it more modern. And the another thing we did, you can actually control this version of KAPIA with a controller. You can play it on a controller. And it's a completely different experience. We did go through the whole game, and we changed the little things. I mean, it's the same game, but the gameplay feels completely different. It's easier, it's more laid back. You can sit on your couch, you pick up the controller, you play some KAPIA. It's this kind of style of thinking. If you pick up a mouse, you dive into this point and click adventure world of, I want to say LucasArts. I don't know why. Probably, I mean, the gameplay style, like Grim Fandango kind of stuff. It's more of and we try to make puzzles as logical as we could. I mean, that's was really our strive from the very beginning, and we did put a lot of clues inside the game to go through puzzles. If you get stuck, guys, just breathe out.
Just ask a robot. Ask a robot.
Ask a robot.
Just find a robot and ask him. Why not? And speaking of robots, I mean, they exist in the world of KAPIA, that's for sure. They exist, and they're, at least from the demo, to me it seemed like they seem like a very independent, let's say, faction in the world. It's like humans are humans, and robots they're independent, they have disdain for humans, they don't like robots that play well with humans. I mean, why are they there? I mean, didn't the humans make the robots? Shouldn't they be like, mechanical slaves, let's say? Just something that listens to humans at least. But they seem to be very anti-human, or at least not very friendly towards humans.
Robots are stated to be 5% human. That's how the percentage of a pie. I'm not gonna attempt to name all the numbers right now, but it's about 33% that they are human. So they do have this humane kind of note to them. And they are very independent. And if you've noticed, they are writing because they think that someone is keeping their mother in hostage. So there is going to be a mother of robots. Not just robots, there is a mother of robots.
Is
And
she
we do
also
have-
a robot, or is she like a?
Maybe she's also a robot, or maybe she's a human. We
Maybe
don't
she's
know
a
yet.
robot
There
with
is-
that's 60% human or something, or 50%.
Possibly. Oh, and possibly we are going to meet her or not. We don't know yet. But in the demo version, we are speaking about Mother, and we are speaking about this cult of Onyx that's probably keeping her in hostage. So we get this start too. And the demo version is all about the starts. I mean, it is a prologue, so we have a lot of beginnings. We don't have that many endings. We don't have one ending. And if you play, you know how it ends. So it is a complete kind of a story. And as I was saying, it was supposed to be part 1. So.
But are they like, do they do the work in KAPIA? Like, are they attached to humans, the robots, or do they just roam around? Do they have their own houses? Do they look for their own jobs? Like, what's the, because for humans it's logical. Yeah, humans do their own thing and they have families and they go to work. But robots, like, what's their place in this society?
They do have a very interesting relationship with humans because they are not completely disattached from them. They're not disconnected. So they do have this kind of emotional, I want to say emotional, I mean, they are 30% human. So they have this emotional connection with the humanities. So they, as you recall, this big robot head, the blue guy in the very beginning, his name is the Builder. So he was one of those robots who's built that shelter, that dome. And he's kind of human, but at the same time, he's trying to get disconnected from the humankind. So that's the basic relationship that they're having with the robots. They robots are emotionally attached to humans, but they want to disconnect. And that's where the teenagers are coming in. Do you remember when I said that Robbie is kind of a teenager? So that's what we have basically with robots. I mean, they are almost grown up, but they are not quite there yet. So they're waiting to live on their own, but they can't, just go out of their parents' home.
And like teenagers, they're rebellious. Oh, mom, you don't understand me. And of course, the mom being, well, I guess the humans around them would be the case. And yeah, I get it. Because if they're teenagers, then they're not gonna like mom and dad much. They're gonna be like, you don't understand me, whatever. And it's like, yeah. No, but that's really interesting because it's, in most games, robots have a clear, like, they serve the humans, or they're fighting the humans, or they hate the humans. And in KAPIA, it's like, okay, they exist here. I don't see them mingling that much with humans, but they don't attack them specifically. I guess they were more focused on their thing, which is, I guess, finding mother and protecting her, which is quite fun. It's like, yeah, robots exist here, but they're doing their own thing. We're focused on the war and trying to survive this and finding food and everything. And the robots, well, they have their mother to worry about. So that's kind of funny because it's like a parallel society, but it's really parallel. It's not like they live in the same place inside the dome, but they have very different desires, very different focuses on in terms of the lifestyle. And yeah, it's interesting. I definitely want to see more of the human robot interaction in this world, because the giant one, he seemed like, at least at some point, he was very attached to his makers, to the humans, and he was disappointed and everything. But the others inside the city, they were like, it's like humans didn't even exist there. They didn't care about the humans. They were just focused on finding mother. So that's really interesting.
It's exactly like with teenagers. I mean, you can have a 12-year-old and you can have a 16-year-old. I mean, basically, you can say that they're teens,
right?
But they're different. I mean, obviously, they have different stages. There are different stages of development. So here with robots, we have the same thing. Some robots feel this way, some robots feel other way, and they're just at different stages where they can connect with humans more, but they can connect with humans less. And it doesn't have to do with them being evolved more or less. It's just that they're at different stages of their development. And we do have, and you've noticed how the parallel stuff, I mean, this collision, we have robots and we have humans. And that's another contrast. We have that too. So we have these different lines that we put into this to really emphasize.
You're reading the chat, aren't you? Focus.
I am reading the chat. I'm sorry. You have such great questions. We need to get to them.
It's not. No, I know. I'm just saying, like when you pause a little bit, like you're reading the chat. It's distracting. I know. It's distracting. It's
not distracting. I really want to get.
It's
to
fine.
This. Maybe we could now. I don't know.
No, you know what? We're gonna go now. Just finish your thought. It's fine. It's fine. It's I get the impulse of wanting to reply or seeing a question and then already getting some answer in your head and you can't focus. But it's fine. Sorry. Go ahead. Finish up and we're gonna see the question. Sorry.
Okay. So that's basically what the KAPIA is all about, the contrasts. We have different worlds, we have different universes, we have this little girl, we have this older guy, we have people, we have robots, we have heavy part, we have lighter part, different levels, all about contrasts.
Since, and this goes back to just one quick question about, so are robots, is the presence of robots equal in different domes, or are they specific to a because you mentioned the West and the East were focused on different development stages, I guess, or items. So are robots more prevalent in one specific part of the world and then maybe mutants or something else in another part?
That would be a logical way of thinking about this, and maybe you're very much correct.
Right, but
how are you going into the story like that?
Because I mean, because I pay attention.
Yes, you read this logic.
No,
yes.
But
so the one side of the world is more focused on robotics, and the other one is more focused on
right, but
biotics. So the robot side.
Also for let's say just the West, right? So we know that the robots in KAPIA, and they're a big presence there from what I've seen. There are a lot of robots in there compared to the humans. In other domes in the West, is it the same thing? Are there also robots in other places, or is the ratio different based on, I don't know, other, there are more humans in one dome, fewer robots, or did the people kill all the robots in one dome? Did the robots kill all the humans in another dome? Is it that type of relationship in other domes? Because we know how it's, or we have an idea of how it is in KAPIA, but in other places.
In other places, they do have different ratios, but it's nothing like. It's not too drastic. I mean, they don't have this killing sprees and things like that. And we will be going into other domes. We will be hearing about other domes in the game, but we won't be discussing
visiting it.
Not in this one. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. That's at least we. That's not spoilery. That's fine. It's like you have KAPIA. Just exactly. But it'd be funny. It would be funny if you would. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. We will be hearing about other domes a lot.
It'd be funny if you continue like with after KAPIA, it would be like a different name. You'd visit a different dome from a different part, and that dome is inspired by a different town or city in Europe, and it's like KAPIA is this, then I don't know, whatever the name would be. Like, this is London. Maybe like I'm just giving ideas. I'm just throwing stuff out there. It's fine. I know you already have planned more stuff than this.
I hope so. If we'll be able to make a career in this, I mean, we'll be making a lot.
Well, you're definitely going to make KAPIA. So that's the thing. So relax about that. You have another year to work on this. So just if you're thinking of anything else, just relax. That part of your brain that's questioning stuff, you can tell like go away, because I know what I have to do. The next year is done. Like I'm gonna play with my dog. We're gonna develop KAPIA. That's it. So that's COVID is gonna go away more and more, and that's gonna be your focus. Okay.
Hope so.
I mean, why
Always.
not? Let's see. Okay, question for just so we can
Yeah,
go to
see the
the.
questions.
Let's
So
see.
excited.
Mm, oh, see, it's a traveling game studio online with the legacy of the traveling circus. Interesting parallel, actually.
Yeah.
Very interesting parallel. Although the only thing that I would, put a difference on, circuses are they're entertainment, and you can say games are entertainment too, but development it's more the creative side. It's like because you can't
No,
really,
I
but
can
it's
buy into
fun.
this. I mean, our whole life
No, I
is a
know.
circus, so it's
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, but this Simon person says that the studio's journey is fascinating. That's again, if you could, I don't know if you have any plans for that, but like some devlogs about that combine, maybe a few development points with your travels and with your experiences. I think that would be. I think people would respond to that quite a lot. So, all right, let's
It's a great
see.
idea. It's
I
a
mean,
really great idea. I mean, we don't have too many pictures, but I mean, probably you don't want to look at my whole album, so we could put together
you could.
some
I mean,
things, and
you
yeah.
could start one like finish the Kickstarter, right? And it'd be like, I don't know, every month you're gonna have like a small vlog, and you can put it for people who only support the game or something, like through Kickstarter. And you're gonna have, you, your husband, your dog. Obviously, the dog has to be in at least 50% of the shots, just to increase your the success of that, because it's just everyone loves dogs.
And I have
So
been doing a dev blog, and I've been posting every day, actually daily, and I haven't missed a day, and I'm very proud of it. For 2 years, I've been posting the progress videos
mhm.
for the model creation, and it's been such a great community. It's been such a great feedback for me. I mean, On the Mimic was just so great as a part of my development.
Right.
Great feedback, great people, and of course,
You can build on that. Why not? Yeah, like
yeah.
continue something like that. Just add more lifestyle things, right? Because I guess people are interested, and I can
Okay.
see why. Like we traveled there, we found. Okay, question for Anna: when did you started creating assets, and what is your poly restriction for characters? Ooh, quite the technical one. I like it.
Okay. Well, I started creating assets 15 years ago, I think. It's probably more now, probably 17 years ago. Oh, that was my first asset. My first asset was, I think, an eye. Oh, it's kind of symbolic now, isn't
An
it?
eye? Really? Because
Yes,
there are
an
eyes.
eye.
Yes, because there's eyes everywhere, and you
Yeah,
can.
exactly.
Yes.
So the first model I did was the eye, and it was in light wave, and it was no. Um, it was very famous back in the day, and now it's still, I believe it's still active, but we did
Yeah. Like,
go away from that program, and that package actually, it had animation and everything built into it. And right now we are developing Unsoft Image, which is kind of retro too, fits our style very well. Our restriction is around 10,000 polygons on a single character. I say around because, I mean, of course, sometimes you need to go above, and if you don't, I mean, why would you? And if I don't need to go above, I just use what I can. I mean, not for every model. And of
right.
course, Stefan and Granny, they're heavier models because they are main characters. So that's the technical stuff.
That's very nice. I mean, so that's for character, but in terms of a scene, like, do you have any estimate on the polygons, on like how many polygons would be on a regular scene in the game? Because
So
it's all,
basically,
it looks really good. So that's it's not like you can spot any your game is not like low poly or anything like that. It's quite detailed, and there's a lot of life in every shot. So it's it's not easy to make something that looks that good with 10 polygons.
because I have so much experience in modeling, I mean, I don't have to count every model right now. I mean,
Right.
I just can kind of use common sense in model creation. I know my limits, I know the restrictions, and they go from characters. Obviously, if you have this super high poly character, you can't make like a cube and say it's a house. You need to make a really good house with the windows and the little handles and everything like that. So I'm basing my poly count on the characters, and then I'm using the I visualize the wireframe. If it's too condensed, I will lower the poly count. And it's been working really well for us because the game isn't too heavy, and considering it's 3D and everything is moving and a lot of animation, a lot of light in the game, I think the restrictions were chosen pretty well. So that's how I do things in that.
And it's gonna work great on the Nintendo Switch. Spoiler. Oops, did I spoil that? Sorry. I'm kidding. I don't have any information, but I'm guessing there's gonna be console versions too. I'm just saying. I mean, you wouldn't put controllers support in there if you wouldn't want it on.
But we do have a controller support, so you can play it on the controller.
Yes.
Not putting any spoilers.
No, I'm just I'm like that wouldn't be a wrong or bad assumption to say that you would want your game to be on any console in addition to the PC. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? Basically, if you could have it on the Xbox, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, obviously you'd want that. But PC first.
And our aspiration is also Mac and Linux. We also want to do that, and that's part of the stretch goals. I think we have that covered. I hope so because I just said it. But that's our big aspiration for this for this Kickstarter, because we do need to at least buy a computer for to make the adaptation.
It's good. No, that could be a vlog. It's like, development computer for building our, building the KAPIA, dev machine. That would be nice. Yeah, and you could build it, and why not? It's, you could buy the parts and then you make a live stream like building the thing. Why not? I'm just thinking here. It's just throwing out ideas. Simon Love. Your name is not Love, but that's cool. Simon Love.
But I know Simon. Hi, Simon.
Yeah, is he actually named Love? Like his actual family name is Love?
I mean, you have to ask Simon.
Yeah. So Rennie never seemed sad to me though. I thought she was coping very well with her robotic and human friends. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I agree. Maybe she wasn't necessarily sad, but she was. It looked like she was. It wasn't the most joyful environment for a child. It's not like she was, playing outside with other children. She wasn't, chasing a dog. So I get what you're saying, but she was fine. Yeah, she was drawing, so something that's, I guess, a big part.
She finds little things that make her happy. Yeah. And besides, she hasn't seen much of a different life. I mean, she doesn't know what a lot of things are. I mean, she has never seen an elephant, and we have that how she imagines.
She's been like in the dome most of her life, right?
Exactly. So she doesn't really know how things were before. So when people are telling her, she's like, "Oh, okay, maybe that's how it was," but I have no idea.
She seems like the type of character that would want to go outside the dome, and that would be really, really troublesome for the grown-ups that are trying to keep her inside the dome. I'm just saying. I'm not assuming that she's gonna do that, but she seems like she's gonna be adventurous enough and tricky enough to go outside, because you can't keep a child in. Come on, if she wants to go, she's gonna go. And all right, let's see, Marvin. Another question: how you and your husband split time on the project? We already know he's the animator, but for example, how's your routine or idea? Who is doing what? Okay, so how are you splitting the dev duties?
Oh, that's an excellent question. So basically, my husband, he's an animator, as you already know, and he also a coder and a programmer for Unity. So my job is asset creation. I make models and I write tests for the game. Also, I'm trying my best to do some marketing. Some success or the other, but that's my job too. So that's us. And of course, there are other little things that come up in the development, and we just do them together. For example, we do have motion capture costumes. So for the most part, I play in the motion capture for the characters. But sometimes my husband does that. So we just kind of collaborate on this part of the job.
Is that like a weird cosplay? It's like, what are we going to do tonight, honey? Let's put on the motion capture suit. Like, I mean, I'm not saying anything. We're all adults here. It's fine. You can have your kinks and whatever. I'm not judging. It's fine. I mean, you're working, you're having fun. That's great. I mean, if I would have, I would do the same thing probably. So it's fine. That
So the
sounds cool.
motion capture costume, it was really weird in the beginning. I mean, because you put it on and you immediately see how you're moving on the screen and in the character form. It was so weird to, just see yourself at the very beginning, but then you get used to it, and it helps to just kind of imagine yourself being that character. You distance yourself from you, and it helps a lot. So if you
and it helps with how the character looks in game, right? Because you're
right.
copying. Well, that character is copying a real human's movement, so it makes everything more fluid, more natural looking, and so on. So that's well, that's great if you can have something like that, and it's actually quite interesting. I mean, the reality is this: you're a small independent studio, but the fact that you have equipment like that, that's more than most development studios would be able to say they have, right? Even teams that have like 4, 5, 10 people in, they wouldn't have any motion capture options. They would have to go to a third party and everything. So that's that to me, that's really awesome.
That's we got really lucky with that, because we when Neuron motion capture, when they just started, we backed their Kickstarter.
Oh.
And we got and after a year, and they took I think a year to complete their project. We got our suit basically at a great price. So we probably wouldn't be able to afford that if we weren't at the right place at the right time. So Kickstarter really helped with that. And
yeah, that's a successful Kickstarter story. That's good.
Exactly. I told everywhere it's absolute success, and they're producing. They keep producing their motion capture suits right now, and they are costing more than they used to on the Kickstarter, obviously, but with any Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. Better than the Ouya. Yeah. If anyone come on, everyone remembers the Ouya, or whoever remembers the Ouya. Oh jeez, that little console that was supposed to be like $99 or something, and it raised like 7 million on Kickstarter, and it was a flop. That thing. I mean, that was a successful Kickstarter too, but yeah, things don't go that great. But it's good that the motion capture suit worked out well. And that's you can use it. All right, one second. Another question. Oh, sorry. Another question from Martin. What about game engine? So you mentioned, but if you can go into details, why did you choose that one? Is it easier for you? Is it because of any future investments, etc.? So Martin, you're literally a copycat, because I have questions like that too. I was going to ask. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. It's your question, Martin. Fine.
So we chose Unity because we wanted to have this cross-platform version. And the interesting fact about our game is that we actually started developing it on our own engine. We had my husband, he wrote his own engine, and we started developing KAPIA on that, and it was a great engine, but at some point we just realized we cannot have all this, possibilities that Unity can provide, and especially the cross-platform kind of stuff. And so that's when we had to switch, and that's why we chose Unity.
So when did you make the switch? Is that like was that relatively early in development?
Yes, it was very early. It was, I think, half a year into development we switched.
Did you make anything? Did you make anything with that engine in terms of anything playable?
It wasn't a game. We did some things, some development on our engine for science projects. So like scientific visualization, for example, I think it was geology and a lot more. Yeah, and I mean, these guys need visualizations as well, and so we did have experience. You see, that's why we wanted to build our own game, build experience before building our own game, and that was a part of building it.
So did you have to make anything custom, for within Unity to cater to your specific needs? Like the camera, maybe AI, anything? Yeah. Okay.
My husband would answer this better, but yes, there's
Get him
There is
on
a
here.
bunch.
Come on,
Yes,
Pavel.
there is a
Get your dog. Come on, get the cute puppy. Come in camera. Come on, don't be shy.
there is a bunch of stuff that we had custom designed. For example, the eye movement, the movement of characters, how their feet don't slip. I mean, there's just a bunch of programming done for this game, just a lot of it.
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't be able to list all of it anyway, so I probably will do as well of a job of this as my husband would.
But it's, I mean, I guess you would need quite a few custom stuff. Let's see. I mean, the camera, at least the camera work seems to be like your. I mean, you definitely have to do something there. It's not just gonna be like, oh, the default camera, it's fine. That's fine. It works now.
A lot of cameras, yes, a lot of work.
And the pan, yeah. Let me see 1 second because I missed. Okay, another one from Martin. Will you be updating the demo version if you need to fix small issues, or will you do it in the main game? Also, are you thinking of any development release for guys to test the game and give you updates? I think that's actually somewhat covered in the Kickstarter in some of the pledges, right?
Exactly. Yes, it is a part of the pledges, and we do want you on board. And the reason it's not just open for everybody, because we don't want, the
Right.
version to just fly off immediately and people looking at broken stuff. We want good people on board with us. And yes, it is a part of the pledges, and you can join in and be a part of the special credits, of course. And we already have that special credits for our alpha testers, who Simon, you're there.
He's an alpha tester.
Yes, and we have a special place for you guys in our credits and in our heart, of course. And we will be testing this version before we release it.
Yeah. So just a quick thing, like at least a $40 pledge would get you access to early builds if you want to help. But again,
Yes.
that's for people who not only want to support Anna and Pavel more, also they want to help them with Q&A, and they know that means they will encounter bugs. So that's very important, because it's not like if you try something like that, it's not going to be like I'm going to play the game before everyone else. Yes, you are, but you're also going to get something that's more bugged, more, it's going to have more issues. So keep that in mind. If you want to pledge for something like that, you're doing it to help smooth things out for everyone else afterwards. Just keep that in mind, because it's don't go, and I don't think most people will do that. Just don't go on the internet and say like, oh my god, there's so many bugs in this game. It's like, it's not out yet. Okay, it's coming out in 6 months. Chillax. But that's cool that you have the option for that if people want to support you and also do playtesting. Let's see. Richard Allen, does this conference validate parking? Sure, I'll validate your parking, no problem. Yes, just send me the invoice. Mikkel, I don't know how to pronounce that. Probably something Dutch or something. I don't know. Hi, and Christian. Hello, great interview so far. Oh, thank you. I'm curious, what lifespan will the story have? Okay, we haven't touched that. That's interesting. I can imagine a game with such a large scale and elaborate world building would take time to unfold. So what's the how many years are we going to go through? Are we going to see like Ready, find love, and marry and go? Sorry, I was just thinking like, no.
So the unfolding is going to take 5 to 6 hours. And when I say 5 to 6 hours, I do say that demo version should be taking 60 to 90 minutes. And usually people are taking 2 days or maybe more to go through the demo version. So it is going to be quite a long game, because it was supposed to be 3 games.
Right.
But the game is going to become complete. I mean, we're going to go through the story. We're going to unfold everything. We're going to cover all the issues that we've started in the very beginning in the prologue, and then we're going to cover it up very nicely and accurately.
But is it going to be like a compact time frame within the game world, or is it going to be like 10 years? The game is...
Well, you'll see. You'll see. It's kind of a surprise a little bit
Oh, okay.
because we're gonna have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and
Some time
um,
traveling, aliens, weird mutants, sex robots, all the good stuff. Cappy's gonna have it all, basically. Also, more dogs, because I've barely seen any dogs in the demo.
you've seen
And
one dog. There was a dog
yes,
in there.
I said barely, and it has to be there has to be every frame that I see has to have at least one dog in it. I'm kidding, it doesn't have to be, but it's we need more dogs. I'm just saying we need more dogs. By the way, I was joking when I was saying about aliens and everything like that. For everyone watching, this is just me, joking around. It's not like I have no idea what the full game is gonna have. It's gonna be a surprise for you and me as well. Let's see. Would the end of the game be the end of the war between the East and West? Yeah, that's a good question. Are we gonna
It's a good question,
are we
but
gonna have that big of an impact? We're gonna save the world.
guys, do you really want me to go into spoilers? I mean, I would love to answer all of your questions, but would it be fun for you to play this kind of,
Well,
if I spoil you the ending?
yeah, let's give it like that. So, look at mankind's history. Do you think war is going to end even if even if one war ends? No, of course not. And because war is the heart of the state, and that's something that I'm reading. Just Google that or DuckDuckGo that. War is the heart of the state. As long as there are states, there will be war. So I'm guessing whatever happens in the game, in KAPIA 2, there's going to be another conflict, and in KAPIA 3, there's going to be another conflict, and in KAPIA 4, there's going to be another conflict, and so on and so forth, until the robots take over. And then,
And
nobody
one
cares
thing
anymore.
I really want to emphasize
So,
is that copy is going to be a complete story. It's not going to, we're not going to just say, that's it, okay, we're done.
wait for the
Thank
sequel.
you. Yes, wait for this. No, it's going to be a complete story from beginning to the ending.
Mm. So that's good, because quite a lot of games are like, yeah, we're gonna end it on a relative, it's not a cliffhanger, but we leave enough so you want to see more. Which I guess it works with some things, but with games, given the fact that they have longer development cycles, is not the greatest thing. You want a complete story, and then you go to another
Right.
one, like a book.
Right.
You wouldn't want books to have.
And copy is very narration oriented. It is kind of like a book. Yeah. So do you have another question?
Yeah, if you could choose one of the hardest development process that you really struggle with, what would that be? By the way, not Marvin, but Martin. Sorry, Martin. Sorry. So the hardest development process. So what's the hardest thing for you in terms of development?
In terms of the development, I'm thinking, just the amount of time it takes and the amount of sacrifice that the development itself takes. I mean, I'm not struggling with any particular part of the development itself, the process, the making models and, learning new things. It's all good. I mean, I have experience in that. But, just sitting there and waiting for the result, because you do have to wait a lot, because, I mean, you can't just make a model like that. You can't make an animation like that. You have to go through this process. You have to be very careful. You have to be very cautious about what you do, about how you do it. Otherwise, it's going to mess up everything, in the end. So just, being very patient is probably the hardest part of the development. And of course, you, as a developer, you're constantly hanging in there. I mean, not having a feedback at this initial stage of the development is very challenging as well. So that would be my answer, I guess.
And speaking of that, how satisfying is having the demo out then?
It is very satisfying, and the fact that people are commenting such great words, that they're giving such great responses, it's just.
Okay, who's their favorite?
It's
like what do you get in terms of
character?
Yeah, who's in terms of what people have told you, what you've seen, what you read, anything. what's the favorite character so far?
Yeah, it's a cat.
What is it with people and cats? The cat is bad. It's not a good character. You're not supposed to like the cat.
It's a mechanical cat in the mechanical cat suit. I mean, it's
Okay,
kind
the
of
cat is cute. The cat is adorable. Let's be
cute.
honest. The cat is adorable, but the character of the cat is a nuisance in the game. I mean,
I
come
know.
on. People just like, I don't understand. It's like see, this is why we have the war in 2060 between the East and the West, because there's still people who love cats that much that even you have a bad cat, they still like it more than, you know, all the other characters around. I mean, Robbie's kind of cute. He's rebellious and whatever. He's, you know, but he's mouthy, but, you know. But anyway, it's fine. Anyway, the cat is a cat. It is a cat, I know. Vampire Wombat, it is a cat, but it's still... It's annoying. It's an annoying cat. You're not supposed to like it. It's it's an obstacle towards your goals. You're not supposed to like the obstacles. You know, you can respect the obstacles, but not like them necessarily. Anyway, cats. Another question. In terms of sound effects, voiceover audio implementation, do you guys use any middleware like Fmod or Wise, or do you implement it directly into Unity?
All right. So what we do, it's
Like, are you reading the chat again? Seriously.
we, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just thinking. So we cut them in Audition into separate lines. Sometimes we do need to run some filters on sounds because we do have different voices. Okay, hold on.
Come on, Pavel, come into frame. Come
Yes,
on.
he's giving me a tip.
Don't be
of what I'm
shy.
missing.
There's nothing, you know, we're all friends here.
It's directly. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's directly. It's directly, guys. But I'm trying to. Yes, it's my husband. He's giving me tips. That's how we work. And so you're right here in the development process right now. But we yes, implementing directly, but we do cut them and we do other works on the voiceovers before we plug them into Unity. And it's an interesting and very intricate process because you have to cut the voiceover exactly how you want it. Otherwise, if you cut it too much in the beginning, you have this pause and the character will go like, okay, I want to do this, something.
Right.
Or if you leave too much behind, it's going to look weird too. So you have to be really careful as to how you want to cut it. If you want a pause in the beginning, you need to leave that pause in there too. So it's a kind of a neat thing that we're doing. So but yes, directly. Okay.
In terms of the, because I'm guessing you don't have it like narrowed down maybe now. How many words would you expect like to have in the full game? Like, because I'm guessing it's a pretty word heavy. I mean, it is a pretty word-heavy game. Is it like 120,000?
No, we're actually looking at
because that's going to cost you for voiceover. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just thinking like
and localization as well. And
yeah, exactly.
We are somewhere in the middle with this. It's about 30,000 words that we are having. So yes, we do fall into this middle section. With all the dialogues, but we gotta have them. I mean, it's a story-driven adventure. You have to have a lot of words. Right?
I mean, it's gonna make the experience better. It's gonna make the people more engaged with it, and it's gonna make them more invested in the world. Like when you hear a character, you know its voice. You know it's a different construction in your mind. It's like a real person. When you text with someone, it's you construct that person in your head, and it's nothing there really. It's just what they respond when you see a face. That's it's a bigger, and it's your brain puts more emphasis on that. A person whose face you know is more important than a person whose face you've never seen, right? Just because it's it's just how we've developed, and then you hear their voice and everything, and that gets you more connected to the characters, and that's why I really like having the voiceover and seeing them, and anything that can make me find out more about the characters and seeing more how they behave. That's gonna make me more attached to it and care about their lives and what they do and the world around them, and it makes me want to play, even if I don't know, I hit a snag where I can't figure out the puzzle. right? If I don't care about the characters, I don't care about the world, then I'm gonna be like, oh, leave this, whatever, I'm gonna go do something else. But if I care about the world and I'm interested, and I want to see what happens to those characters, I'm going to push through those obstacles. So that's how I see it. Especially in this day and age, when there's so many games, you have to. And I think it's true for everything, but even more so now. You have to keep the player engaged and invested in the game. They have to care about it, basically. That's it. They have to care about it, and if they care about it, they will push through. That's it. And how do you make them care? Yeah.
How do we make them care? And I think we will, because we care about them.
Mm-hmm.
We treat every character with a lot of, I want to say respect, because it is kind of, when you create something out of nothing, it just starts living their own lives. It's like we've seen with the demo. I mean, I've made it, I had it to myself, and then I just let it go into the world. And people have opinions. People start having opinions about this. The game somehow starts influencing their lives. I mean, because they have opinions about the game. So it's not about me already. I mean, I feel this duty to put as many details into these characters as I can, because if they're going to influence someone, I mean, how can I just give them kind of, how can I do a bad job with this? It's impossible for me. I mean, I feel this responsibility, and that's why I think people will care about the characters in the story.
That's actually very nicely put. Is you have to put in as much. Yeah, I mean, I understand leaving stuff for the person to imagine, but this isn't the book. This isn't even books don't let you do that as much. This is a medium, games, where you have text, you have audio, you have the the visual side, you have the puzzles. All of those construct a world that's almost exactly like ours. You interact with it almost exactly how you do with the real world. So then, obviously it has to have the detail of the real world, or at least, to some extent to that. Because then else, no one's gonna care. It's like, oh, this character is tall. Okay. No, he's tall. That's why the greatest books have, pages and pages of descriptions, which I really don't like. But that's another thing. Stendhal, I'm looking at you. You're dead, I know. But I'm gonna, what? Before I die, I'm going to read Red and Black. Red and Black, I just started to read it when I was, a teenager, and I stopped it because it was so descriptive at the beginning, and I really loathed that, but, it was another time in my life, so I have more patience now.
But about imagination, I mean, notice how much you have already created, how much world you have created from what we've given to you, and I think that's because the characters have so many details in them originally. I mean, they give you a correct line of thought to, just have your imagination flying. You start guessing as what's going to happen later in the game, because the world is already living world. It's developed world. And that's what we were really hoping to achieve. And I think we did achieve that.
And, with small things here and there, about, I'm really interested in, especially in the full game, about other domes too. That'll be, that for me, that's one of the points that I'm really excited about, to find, even if I don't see the other domes, if I get information about what's going on with the other domes, like what's the life there, how do they exist. Okay, this is a good one, and it's probably going to be, it potentially could be a spoiler. Please don't kill any of the characters. So that's, I mean, that could be really spoilery. That could be,
but that's a plea. It's not a question.
Right. So you can say, yes, we hear you and whatever, and you can still kill them.
We hear you, we hear you, and we value your feelings towards our characters. Yes. We love them too.
It's okay. Stefan is gonna die. I'm sorry. It's like, he's an old man. It's not, he's an old man. His heart isn't that great. Whatever happens. You're gonna,
It's going to be probably the first character in the game industry that will die of a heart attack.
Oh, Jesus.
Right there on the spot. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Tell me a little bit something that we haven't really touched, and the demo doesn't really touch at all, because it's that's another thing that leaves your imagination going. Does the game have a specific antagonist? What are you exactly fighting? Are you fighting someone? Because it's not like the whole conflict is your dealing, right? You're not some sort of general, facing. Okay, we're gonna decide how the war ends. No, you're regular people in a dome. So who are you going to butt heads with throughout the game?
Right. So
in addition to the cat, because the cat I know, the cat is
Cat, yes, the cat is the cat. In the very beginning, we get this big mystery. We know that there is a war. We know that there is an infection going on. And the first part of the game, we're going to be doing a lot of discovering.
Mm-hmm.
So the antagonist will come. And I don't want to give you spoilers again, but we are going to have, we are going to cover these issues with, how should I put it? How should I put it so I won't ruin it for you guys? How should I put it? We have a lot of things to deal with in KAPIA.
Okay.
We do have
The things
a lot
in
of things.
KAPIA are worse than you know.
Yes, they are. They are.
I mean, we have Mother, we have,
Exactly.
the Dictator, we have the shipman. Shipman?
Shipment,
Like
yeah.
that.
The shipment.
Yeah, the shipman. Who have the guns, which is, see, that's why you need a Second Amendment everywhere. I'm just saying. Just, if you're going to vote for someone, especially in Europe, vote for people who are okay with the right to bear arms. That's an important thing. Anyway, it's, that's not going to happen because, here in Europe, we don't really have that philosophy, but it's fine. It's actually not fine, but anyway. Yeah, culture. What can you do? You're not going to change 1,000 years of culture right now. Anyway, and I don't like guns specifically. I don't have any guns, but the concept is good. All right, so I'm saying KAPIA, they have guns. The people who didn't die have the guns. So that's what happens. The protests are about to free the mother. Ivan says, are they about to free the mother? We don't know. We're gonna find out.
We don't know, but they do want their mother to be free. Yes, they are all for that. That's what they are protesting against. And then we're forgetting the cult. There is a cult of Onyx. And what's Onyx? What's that cult? Why are they keeping mother in hostage?
They're Scientologists. Let's be honest. They're Scientologists. They're the modern, the KAPIA version of the Scientologists. They're weird. Tom Cruise is still there. Yes, he's still very small, and he's in control of things, basically. Come on, let's be honest. If there's any cult that is going to exist in 2060, it's going to be the Scientologists. I don't know how. Probably because they have money.
In the parallel universe?
Yeah. Oh, they'll they find a way. They find a way. Because it's about money and power. So it's like, what's universal? Well, power.
Yeah. It always ends up like that.
So tell me a little bit about it. So we can kind of wrap it up because it's been. I mean, we can stay here for a lot longer. Just so we have, so we don't bore people. I'm 2 inches shorter than Tom Cruise. Oh, I'm sorry. Vampire Wombat. You have a really cool name, but I'm sorry about that. If you're 2 inches shorter than Tom Cruise.
Hi, Vampire.
That's a really cool name, though. Vampire Wombat. See, that's okay. Vampires.
It's funny.
And it's awesome. Because vampires are cool, yeah, but wombats are even cooler. Just search for wombats. Just wombats together with, most creatures in Australia, I guess. But echidnas are awesome. Platypuses are awesome. It's just, I guess wombats are marsupials. I think they're marsupials. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, they are. Okay. But anyway, I'm more of a fan of monotremes, but wombats are really cute and adorable. I just wouldn't have them as pets because they're wild animals. Tell me, do you have any time to play anything else? Are you doing anything else outside of the development side? If just so, I don't know, to relax, to keep your mind off the craziness of the Kickstarter. Do you do anything like that?
We do a lot of. I mean, when we have time, because right now it's Kickstarter and we don't have time. But we do enjoy like light sports like running and swimming and things like that. It depends on season. Walking and...
So nothing game related? Nothing game related? Like
game
you don't stay in and like, okay, let's say... We
do play a lot of demos of other...
Really?
When we get time, we do play a lot of demos of other indie projects, and we do get a lot involved in the community, and just talking to people, discussing what they are doing and things like that. But I mean, really, with the development, we do work for in about 10-hour days. So, and it's 6 days a week. I mean, developing a game, a 3D adventure with 2 people, it does come with some sacrifices, I must add. So we don't get too much time to, just devote to ourselves. So basically that's our life right now. And hopefully we'll get it a little bit lighter for us.
Oh, well, the Kickstarter is crazy. It's going to be, this month it's obviously going to be super crazy for you. You can't do anything about it, really. And it's not bad, it's just what it is, because you are trying to get the goal, so it's just going to be crazy until it finishes. That's pretty much what everyone says about Kickstarter, because I've talked to other developers, doing interviews and stuff, and it's now you don't have any time for anything else during the Kickstarter. And it's afterwards, longer walks with the dog, that would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. The dog would be happy because she's...
By the way, what is she doing? Because you said what you're doing, what Pavel's doing in terms of the development. What's her contribution here, beside being adorable? Because I know that's looking adorable. And what is she actually doing for KAPIA?
It's our relaxant. She helps us to relax. It's a big part. I mean,
it is.
You can take her, pet her. And just know everything is all right. Everything is all right. I have a dog. She's sleeping right by me right now. She's actually 8 years old, so she's been through this whole she's been through this whole development, keeping our spirits up, and I think that's a pretty important role. To keep developers' spirits up. We need to be up to continue. We just constantly have to be focused on this goal. So if you can get a little bit of dog love, it helps.
Yeah, that's another thing that I was thinking about. Dogs for devs. A lot of developers, or plenty of them, have cats, and I think if you want a healthier life when you're developing, especially if you're alone or you're in small teams, you would want something like a dog, because the dog, at the very least, and well, dogs can do a lot, but they force you to step out. To maybe meet new people, to go out in the world, even if you don't want to. They rely on you. Cats don't. Cats, they go, you change their little tray, whatever, and it's done. With dogs, you have to get off the chair, you have to get out of the house, and I think that's so important for people who are who stay in so much. Like I stay in a lot, and I can't wait to have a dog again, so I can, not like I need the dog to go out, but it's it's an extra reason to go, and I think it's a great thing, because it's like, oh, let's run. You meet other people, you talk, you just have small talk and stuff, and that's so important for interaction for people who stay in a lot, especially when I'm not a developer, but it just helps. It just helps to escape the front of the monitor if you can, and dogs help with that a lot, because it's like they don't have any other choice. You have to go out with them, and compared to wombats don't care. They're probably not gonna... I don't know if anyone has wombats, but you can probably... I reckon Wombat Pets should be a thing. I would not... What do you think, Anna? Wombats, pets, yes or no?
It depends on the wombat, I guess. Would it interact? I don't know. Would it interact?
I think it would. I think they're relatively active, yeah. They're not lazy or anything like that.
I don't see any problem with this. I don't see any problem. If it's comfortable for the wombat, I don't see a problem with it being pet.
Yeah, I'll probably try to, these animals that are outside of the realm of humans, I would probably keep them I would want to keep them outside of the realm of humans as much as possible. Like, you know, you wouldn't. I mean, well, snakes are weird, right? You wouldn't. A wombat, though, it's at least it's a mammal, so it can interact with you more. A snake doesn't do anything, but you know, it's just. I don't know. Well, yeah. A capybara I would have. That would be sweet. Capybaras are sweet. That's another thing. Oh Jesus! I'm just imagining, like, if you had a capybara right now, it would be like the dog would be so just jump around it because capybara is so chill. Anyway, just, you know, for anyone watching, search, you know, on YouTube, capybara dogs. You know, lovely. It's gonna be a great, lovely experience because dogs are cute and capybaras are chill. All right, something else. What else do we have? Plugs. Let's do. Oh no, platforms. So what do we know for sure? Do you have any plans for stretch goals for other platforms?
Right now we only have PC available, and the reason we did that is because we are super cautious about promising you guys something that we cannot deliver. So Mac and Linux, they are both in our stretch goals. They're there. We want to do this. We probably will at some point, I mean, in future, but I mean, to guarantee that they will appear simultaneously with the PC version, we need to reach that stretch goal. So that's the best answer I can give. And we are really cautious about giving you guys some information that we cannot, you know, deliver. It just, if I'm saying something, then it means that I'm like, and I'm going to be cautious here too. I'm 98% sure.
Right, because you don't. Yeah, you can't be 100% because you don't know what life gives you. But I was thinking, so was did you try to, or was that an avenue to try to shop KAPIA around to, you know, to various publishers, or did you think, no, we're doing the Kickstarter? Was that like a, you know, like a goal? Yeah, we're definitely doing a Kickstarter. Or did you, you know, maybe try to look for publishers before launching the campaign?
You see, we have been developing this for 4 years, being very indie. And we want to keep this freedom for ourselves at this point in development. And I think we can, I mean, if I didn't think that we could do the Kickstarter, I wouldn't go on a Kickstarter. I really believe that it can happen. And how we've been going so far, I think we're doing very well, and it will happen. And this would allow us to produce something really from us. We won't have people sitting, you know, telling us what we can and we cannot do, regulating. And that was the initial idea that we wanted to pursue. We wanted to go through this process on our own. I mean, it is more challenging, I know, and I mean, but what's not? I mean, we've already been through 4 years of development. It's, you know, just another step in life, an important step in life, a step that can change our lives, basically. But I mean, sometimes you just have to take these risks. It's just no way around it. I mean, sometimes you just have to do it. It's like jumping over the cliff. I mean, sometimes you see that it's not a very long distance. I mean, it is scary. Okay, you have to jump over the cliff, and you're afraid of heights.
Oh yeah, gravity makes it a short distance. Yes, it's not a long distance because it's not going to take you long to go down. Yeah.
But you've been practicing. You've been practicing jumping over the cliffs, and right now you just have to concentrate and do it. So that's the point we're at right now.
Okay, so that's good. So, you know, that's clear for people who want to support you. This is all you. This is all you, your project. You have 100% creative control, and that's, you know, one of the reasons why you have the Kickstarter, in order to maintain that and, you know, release the product that you want to release in the state that you want to release it in. So what's the estimate for a release, assuming everything goes well? But, you know, the Kickstarter is it's definitely going to be successful. We're moving beyond that. We're in, you know, we're past that now. You know, Kickstarter is successful. What's the goal for the release?
2021 Q2. That's what we want to do. And the way things are going right now, it can be done, and it will be done, because First years in development, they took us longer because we did have to figure out what we're doing. And I mean, like with anything you start new, I mean, you can start whatever. I mean, you can start jump rope, and you need this learning curve.
I was thinking you're gonna start jumping off the cliffs. What is it with you and cliffs?
No, cliffs.
People don't just
No,
jump
I'm
off
jumping
cliffs
jump
in
ropes.
general. Okay, jump ropes. Okay,
Jump
that's
ropes.
fine.
You do have this learning curve, and we are past that. Right now, we are much faster, better developers than we were 4 years ago, and I think it shows in the videos that we're posting, on the social media, and on the response that people we are getting from our demo version. So that's what our aim is, and I really, at this point, I really don't see any obstacles for us to do this.
COVID 2020. Actually, that probably will not be a it's just gonna be like, oh, we can't travel anywhere. We're stuck again, so we're just gonna focus on KAPIA. It's fine, I mean, for you, it's probably gonna be like, yeah, whatever, bring on another pandemic.
On the opposite side, release is gonna be 2021, so we're kind of. I think the whole world is hoping that's gonna end by then. But I guess we'll see.
It will.
So yeah,
I mean,
we'll have a better day.
The thing is, people are sick of it already, and that's a good thing. It's not a disease. People are sick of the disease and people are sick of the
They're sick of the disease. They're sick of being diseased. They're sick of everything. I guess.
I mean, there's always going to be a disease. The point is, COVID. It's done. It's shit. It's crap. I'm sorry. It was a very bad year for people who wanted 2020 would be awesome. It wasn't that great because of this, but we're done. We're passing. 2021, no one's gonna give a crap about COVID. It's gonna be fine. We're over it, or most of it. Unless you're in Australia, then you're screwed. But that's another thing. We don't live in Australia. It's fine. So, anything else that you want to say before we wrap up? Plug anything that you have to plug in addition to the Kickstarter?
Oh, I just want to thank everybody for coming. It was such a great time for me, and it was the first time that I did a live interview. And thank you very much for this idea. It was a great idea, and you were a great host. So I just want to thank everybody. It was an amazing time for me, and I hope it was an amazing time for you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for the questions, for the very nice words in the chat, and just a quick thing. There's a link in the description below to the Kickstarter campaign if you want to pledge. There's also a link to the itch.io page where you can get the demo. If you haven't played it yet, check it out, play it, and of course then go to Kickstarter. At least a $18 pledge would get you a copy of the game, and of course you have higher tiers if you want more, if you want a physical copy, if you want a cool t-shirt. That's actually really cool. Actually, it's not expensive. It's like $50 for the t-shirt, for the whole everything, and you get a lot more stuff. Not only the t-shirt, but that's really cool. You can get you can get more copies. You can have your eye in the game, which that might be a fetish that people have. I don't know, but there's lots of options when it comes to supporting in terms of the financials. And again, $18 for a copy is not much for an indie game. It's actually under the standard, right? I would probably say the standard is 20. So you could get it for a pretty good deal. And again, you support a great indie team, and they have a dog. So if that doesn't if that doesn't make you, give them money just because, oh, these people have dogs. These are my people. I want to help them because they're my people. If you have dogs, you're just a higher tier human. Oh, I'm gonna anyway. I'm gonna get some shit for that. Like, oh, higher tier humans. If you don't have any dogs, you're like a worse human. You're a subhuman. It's like no, just dogs are awesome. Anyway, where can people find you? Online, Twitter, anything like that?
Everywhere, you guys. We're on all the social media. Basically, you just search KAPIA game and we're there. And the only difference is my Twitter, because it was supposed to be my personal blog, but then it turned out into an official Twitter, which is Anamimic. And maybe we can have that in the description too.
I have to add it. Yes, I don't have that in the description, but I'll add it. That's fine.
For
I can add it.
everything
That's fine.
else, thank you. It's for everything else, Discord and everything else, we are there. Facebook, pretty big community out there.
Like
So,
it's KAPIA,
come talk
or
to
what?
us.
What's the on Facebook? It's KAPIA game. What's the?
It's KAPIA
what's the
game.
one?
Yeah, everything is KAPIA game.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy to search. And you guys just come talk to us. It's probably gonna be me. 98%, my favorite percent right now. It's 98%, so 98% likely it's gonna be me, and I'll be answering your questions. If you have any questions, you can just chat, whatever. You guys are very welcome. We are a friendly bunch, so.
Okay, this is sorry, this is weird from Robbie's game chat. Good to see Anna is not underwater. What's that about?
Oh, we had Rob, hi Rob.
What happened there?
We had a horrible rainstorm. Okay, it was absolutely horrible, and our neighbors upstairs, they forgot to
don't tell me. Oh, come on.
They forgot to unclog their gutter. So the balcony upstairs, it's like okay, it's about this tall.
Oh Jesus!
And it was filled with water. So we had to actually go manually, with the risk of ending Kickstarter very early. We had to go and unclog it from our balcony manually because they were gone. They were not even home for like a season.
Jesus.
And the water just started pouring out from there. And the reason we went through all this horrendous risk was because we had water pouring from our ceiling.
Oh Jesus! Yeah.
So now that just
awful.
And the electricity went off. We have this horrendous rainstorm. We have Kickstarter going on, and we have this waterfall of water. And
you
neighbors
didn't lose
are
anything.
gone.
You didn't lose anything, right? And like in terms of the
No,
like,
it's luckily it was the kitchen, so all we lost was some food. So that's not a big deal. We don't eat anyways.
Jesus, that's awful. That's because I've had some issues with the upstairs neighbors, like with flooding, and it's crazy when it comes out of the sockets, the you know, or from the ceiling. It's just crazy. It's absolutely. I'm glad everyone's okay. You learn how to swim. I guess that's a good thing. And nothing was lost. I guess that's good. But Jesus Christ.
Yes, luckily it wasn't in the computer room. So otherwise we'd be under very much pressure.
That's more cost right now. You have to add to the Kickstarter. It's like it's a stretch goal. Like fix our house after. Yeah. Cause I'm sure you want to paint it again or something. It's like Jesus. Okay, I'm glad you're okay, but that's really crap. If anyone knows, you know, if you live in an apartment building and you've had bad neighbors that do crap, oh my god, that's so, because you have to repaint everything, and then the electricity goes down, and there can be stuff that never mind. I've had some horror stories here too, so it's awful. I'm glad nothing was. Yeah, it's you know what it is. Until I get enough money to move somewhere where there's, you know, just me and at least 2 dogs. I'm just saying 2 dogs, at least 2 dogs in a, you know, compound. And yeah, that's it. I don't know anything else. For me, my plugs, you know, just like this live stream, that helps a lot. Share it if you want other people to know about KAPIA. And you know, if you like it, obviously, check out BitChute too. I'm on BitChute. If anyone here knows BitChute, does anyone know BitChute? Please tell me. Someone knows it. It's a video sharing site, and I'm trying to get more people there too. Subscribe there too, and of course, links in the description if you want to support me, so I can continue doing this very long time, and I can get that house somewhere in a nice area where I can have 2 dogs. I want a fox terrier and a I don't know, something
Get
big.
another fox terrier.
No, something big. I want something bigger than that. I don't know, something like a coolie. Yes, a coolie. It's like Australian Shepherd dog, something like that. They're really cute. They're not that big, so it's fine. So if you want to support me, see the ways in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you, Anna, for being here. And
thank you.
Anything else? Just go vote, I guess. Because that's what people say all the time now. By the way, people say that they don't care about unless you vote in a specific way. But yeah, go vote. Or not. Wash your hands or not. and social distance or not, because we don't, we're not authoritarians here. Thanks again everyone for watching. We're gonna go because I think Anna and Papa want to take the dog out, probably. I don't know. She's probably sleeping. She doesn't care.
No, she's waiting.
Oh, okay. So she wants out. Thanks again, and I'll see everyone probably tomorrow for a new live stream. Until then, I have some more videos coming up. And yeah, that was it. Check out KAPIA on Kickstarter, support them, and we're gonna see the full release in 2021, where you're gonna save the world. Probably. You're gonna save the world.
You are.
Bye.
You are.